Hello and welcome to the Scatterable channel, and today let me bring you guys my first Computex coverage ever on this channel. So I've been invited out here to cover some of the latest upcoming PC hardware and peripherals that I think you guys should be interested in, because what I'm going to be talking about in this video is more targeted towards the everyday PC gamer, not those who are going to be spending tons of money on the latest and most extravagant of components or PC peripherals. I'm covering stuff that I think you guys would actually be interested in that isn't going to be super expensive. So there is a fair bit I got to cover in this video, but first I got to give a thank you to Corsair, Montech, and Deepcool for helping sponsor this trip, especially Corsair for helping set up this awesome hotel, my flights, and some of the necessary transportation to learn and kind of get around Taipei for my first time. So let's start with Corsair and their new iCue Link system. And unfortunately, I really can't recommend any other PC peripheral brand right now for RGB other than Corsair, because their new iCue Link system is the most complete and most thought out system that I've seen that just nobody can beat right now. So in a nutshell, Corsair's new iCue Link system is simpler and better than what other brands are offering as far as a multi-RGB and fan kind of linkage solution. So what iCue allows you to do is that you can hook up your fans and your RGB peripherals just to a single cable that'll snake around your whole system. And you don't necessarily need to feed a bunch of different cables into a single controller like what other brands would do. With the new iCue Link system, you really only need one port or even two, because you can just hook up the different connectors from your AIOs, your fans, and your other RGB peripherals, and just send it right back to the main controller. And it's a lot more simple than what other brands have been doing. And additionally, their new iCue Link system is powered off of a micro power PCIe cable, which there will be an adapter for in the box. No need to change out your power supply. But what this allows it to do is that it can deliver up to 168 watts of power, which means you can hold up to 14 RGB fans running at 100% brightness, and none of them will fade in brightness. And this is a little bit of a problem for other systems that have a similar approach to this, because they are usually powered by SATA or Molex power connectors, which can deliver usually around 50 watts. So Corsair providing a full 168 through that micro PCIe power connector is very advantageous for them. But there's also one other thing I want to talk about. Yes, I know at the start of the video I said I want to cover stuff for more everyday PC gamers, but I gotta cover the sponsored stuff first. Like the new Corsair Dominator Titanium RAM kits. Now yes, this is Corsair's new super high-end premium DDR5 RAM, but what makes this different, say, over the Dominator Platinum, is that the RGB is a bit more traditional. And that is thanks to the new heatsink design found on these Dominator Titanium RAM kits. Which means there isn't any Corsair Capellix found in these Dominator RAM kits. It's actually traditional RGB with how they've redesigned the heatsink, which means these RAM kits are even brighter and better than the old Dominator Platinum RAM kits. And while that's great and all, what I do want to highlight is that these RAM kits are offering something that I don't think any other RAM kit is doing on the market, and that is through the iCue system. You can manually change the overclock, cast latency timings, and anything else on these RAM kits in Windows in the Corsair iCue software. You no longer have to really do this through the BIOS, although you can, it's optional, but there's a few advantages to doing this. For one, if you want to switch profiles from, say, a gaming, more like centric profile that has tighter timings to a more, say, creative and productivity profile that has just really high megahertz for increased data transfer speeds, you can now switch in between your custom profiles on the fly in Windows. And that is very sweet. And additionally, let's say you had to reset the CMOS battery on your motherboard, which would reset the BIOS. You won't lose your RAM timings or overclocks in iCue, whereas on a traditional RAM kit you would through the BIOS. So this new high-end RAM kit from Corsair actually makes sense and would be fairly nice for enthusiasts. But once again, that's enthusiasts. We're gonna cover stuff for the everyday PC gamer shortly. Now moving on to Deepcool. Yes, so we all love Deepcool, and if you remember from CES 2023, they were coming out with some new CPU coolers that had a digital display on them, which is more or less reinventing their AK series of CPU coolers and just allowing you to see the CPU temperature and fan speed of your CPU cooler. And I'm happy to announce that their new AK400 up to AK620 series of digital CPU coolers start at $49, which is not too shabby. I think more and more PC gamers are wanting to see all of the metrics inside their gaming PC, because AIOs and other custom displays are already trying to do this, but those are expensive. And what Deepcool is trying to do with their AK400 digital series of CPU coolers at 49 bucks at least is display those metrics for you right on your CPU cooler tower. So I think that's a pretty cool thing. And again, the price is, I think, not too bad. Yes, the fan isn't RGB. That may be a little bit of a downer, but we'll see. I'll build a system with it and we'll see if it's worth the 50 bucks, at least for the AK400 digital. And once again, there's others like the AK500 and AK620 that go up in price and still have that digital display. Anyways, there's also a new low profile CPU called the AN500 that Deepcool is introducing for those of you who want a high performance low profile cooler to slam into your ITX systems that actually still manage to cram in some sort of LED lighting while that fan itself is super slim. So props to Deepcool for being able to figure that out. But more or less, I want to talk about their new high-end PC case. And this is the first time Deepcool is targeting the high-end PC case market. I know it's a little bit out of the bounds for some of you watching this video, but this is their new Deepcool Morpheus ATX mid-tower. No, not mid-tower, full tower. So what makes this case unique is that you can switch between a single chamber and dual chamber design on the fly. So if you wanted to do a more traditional layout, like what you've seen in many other PC cases with a PCU cover shroud, the motherboard on the back of the PC case, and just a regular mounted graphics card, you can do that with all of the cooling that this case provides. Or if you wanted to do a dual chamber design, move your power supply to the back of the PC case behind the motherboard tray and have your GPU be vertically mounted, you can do that on the Morpheus now and have that bottom part of the PC case exposed, which can allow you to fit up to 6 200mm fans. So there's going to be no shortage of cooling on this system. So I think it might be a little bit of a dark horse for one of the best performing PC cases on the market. So there's a lot of flexibility with this new Morpheus case that I don't see in other high-end PC cases that just strictly come in either a single chamber or dual chamber design. So we'll see how it plays out, because this case is still getting a really nice clean aesthetic, but still delivering on functionality that you would expect out of a high-end PC case like this. But now on to some of the other things I wanted to cover from Computex that are a little more targeted towards the everyday PC gamer, like Zalman's new P30 case. So this is a micro ATX case from Zalman that has that glass pillar design, which can let you see all the components inside your PC case. And get this, it's going to cost about $100. And let me tell you, the build quality is good, the design is pretty nice, the colors are good, and I think the cooling capacity is going to be pretty alright as well. It's like a mini height Y40 just without the vertical GPU mount. So look forward to that. I might request a review unit for it because I want to see if its cooling performance and its aesthetics are actually worth that $100 price tag. But let's talk about this though. If you're looking for a white graphics card and you want a Radeon card, your options are very limited until now, because Powercolor is being the first, I think, of all the Radeon card manufacturers to start now permanently introducing white graphics cards to their lineup, because they were one of the first to make that white 6650 XT Hellhound that actually, I guess, did kind of well. So they're going to go ahead and make white graphics cards now for RX 7000, starting with the RX 7900 XTX, and I'm pretty sure the same will follow for the 7900 XTX and maybe the 7600. I haven't asked. I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't, but I'm pretty sure we could see the same maybe in the upcoming 7800 XT, like this September, and the 7700 XT. Anyways, talking more about PC cases, I do want to give a shout out to the Phanteks NV5. So this case is $129, kind of expensive. It's kind of in that upper kind of range of expensive PC cases, but it's going toe-to-toe with the height Y40, and more or less it has all of the features and kind of charm of the NV7, just in a smaller and more inexpensive package. And even it retains the same kind of like slanted PSU shroud design that made the NV7 kind of unique in the first place, for that additional airflow on the bottom of the PC case. And it still has that very open chamber design with the glass pillar. So I'm curious to see how this case fares out versus other PC cases. I can already tell you that the rear of the PC case is going to be excellent for cable management, just like in the NV7. So I'm probably gonna have to request one of these as a review unit sometime for a higher end PC build, because I think there could be a market for that PC case. And then the last thing I want to talk about for my Computex coverage is that Cougar is remaking my favorite PC desk that I've ever had, which is the one that I feature in every single one of my videos in a smaller and more affordable package than being the Royal 120. And what makes this desk so awesome is that the actual desktop quality is really nice to the touch. They're using a specific kind of rubber on the tabletop that is fairly easy to clean up, doesn't leave too many scratches or like scruffs on the actual tabletop. It's pretty nice, although I did skin mine, so little disclaimer on that front, but it is going to be coming in a smaller and more affordable package with the standing legs that are high quality and quiet at $299. So if you wanted a really nice investment for a table desktop that isn't some cheap like flexi spot desk, then the Royal 150 may be for you. Whew, so that is quite a bit to cover from Computex. Those are some of the favorite things that I saw that I believe should be covered in this video. But I do have another Computex video either coming up before or after this video, we'll see, covering some really cool cases from Montech. So if you made it to this point in the video, thank you. It's finally time I've been to Computex, and this would have been possible without all of you guys continuing to support my content and my continued pushes for making PC gaming hopefully more affordable. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and this is the Scattervault channel, signing out.